Ozy Media, basically a fake media company, raised over $70 million from some of the richest people in the world, including a billionaire, a co-owner of an NBA team, and many more smart and successful people. But the question is, how did they do it? How are they able to get away with such ridiculous fraud with claims such as they have 25 million subscribers on YouTube, yet you can clearly see that they have 3,000 subscribers on YouTube, or claiming ridiculous numbers that are actually fairly easy to dissect and look into and see that they are completely fake. Yet they duped folks out of over $70 million, some of the smartest people in the world who manage thousands of employees as CEOs or own billions of dollars. How the heck did they do it? Well, I'm going to go into a few ways that they actually, the owner, the CEO, Carlos Watson, used really hardcore marketing techniques, including social proof, urgency, aspirational groups, and associative groups to really make this happen. The first tactic Carlos Watson, the owner of Ozy Media, used is called aspirational groups. And when you're working in an industry such as selling investments, or in my case, I'm basically selling a career. I'm teaching folks how to start their own online businesses, doing what I've done, which is affiliate marketing, or any of these things, real estate investments, is that you're selling a dream. You're selling an aspiration. You want to be a part of this group of millionaires or billionaires or passive income digital nomads. And Carlos Watson did this expertly. Not only did Watson claim that YouTube worked with Ozy as a partner, but said Google gave Ozy a written offer to invest $25 million into the company. Whoa! Google's investing! Google's investing in the company. That is a aspirational group for sure. To be a co-investor in a company with Google basically guarantees success, because how could a company fail if Google is your partner? If Google is your investor, right? They are vested in your success. I mean, if Google was invested in your success, right, it must mean you win. So Carlos Watson claimed that Google, which is YouTube's parent, to invest $25 million. I don't think they would do that if they thought there was something fraud or wrong. Of course they wouldn't. All of his claims about how many views his YouTube channel gets or how many visits he's claiming his website gets, he's claiming 50 million visits to his website when they're getting less than 3 million. You just Google search it and it's easy to find out. But Carlos is just up in the ante, and he's seen, well, Google knows our numbers and they're cool with everything, right? So even if your little internet searches don't work out, we got Google, big boy Google behind us. Absolutely ridiculous. What's even more ridiculous about this is that this company was able to raise over $70 million for a company that adds no value to the world, that doesn't even produce media that anybody watches, and they're able to dupe all these insanely rich people behind it. It's a really interesting story. Now, the second thing that Carlos Watson really used to his advantage is what's called associative groups, which is people, not just people you aspire to do business with, but people who share your same ideals in life. Carlos Watson did a really good job, right? He's talking about Google. He's got a minority-run business, so he's helping people who share that, like Black Lives Matter, BLM sort of mentality, which it appears that a lot of his investors are Democrats. He's appealing to that, and he's also appealing to how a lot of these investment companies now are operating, which is, some of them are trying to do, where they allocate a certain percentage of their fund to minority-run businesses. And what a better minority-run business to put your money into than one that's invested in by Big Daddy Google, right? So very, very interesting dynamic there. I'm not sure if that played into it, but let's have a look at this next quote here. The show's lineup of guests slated for the next season of the new talk show includes authors Malcolm Gladwell, Roxane Gay, Simon Sinek, Paris Hilton, Grant Hill, and some famous politicians such as Andrew Yang, who ran for president. What Carlos is doing here is he's, first off, He has a great lineup of people he said he's going to interview. Now, he had said he had announced a big podcast where he was going to interview these people, some of which I don't even think he talked to. I think he just made up that list of people he's going to interview on the spot. What he's saying is that these are the people that work with us. These are the people that I'm friends with. And he's also setting the stage for the next and the most powerful form of marketing that there is, which is the reason why I don't believe any of these investors did their due diligence. And that is called urgency. Even with all these blown up numbers and these false claims about Google being a co-investor and all this stuff, you would think that if a company or an individual is putting down a couple $1 million of their own money to invest in the success of Aussie media, to just invest in anything, that there would be a lot of due diligence. I do a lot of due diligence if I'm going to invest a couple $1,000s into something. But in this case, you're talking about professional investors, professional investment firms, professional angel investors, all this sort of stuff, and they all got duped. How do they all get duped? How do they all fail to do due diligence? And it's because they use the most powerful marketing technique, which is called urgency. And the way I believe he used this is by basically taking all of this social proof that he's made up, including these 25 guests on his podcast, celebrities, billionaire heiresses, insanely wealthy folks, insanely famous and influential people, and using that amongst other pillars to basically say, hey, I've got more people to invest in this deal than I could possibly ever handle. I need your money now, this week, or else we can't do the deal. And if you need to do due diligence, well, we just don't have the time for that because we are closing this week. Something along those lines. And what's interesting about this is that a lot of how investment works in all of these kind of like venture capital companies, Y Combinator, Y Combinator companies demand millions of dollars for companies with no revenue. This whole investment industry is really based around, and there's a playbook for, that creating urgency in getting the investment money in. And it's very insidious. But let me read a quote from Quora where some technology guy answers, how do you create urgency for raising investment? I have a track record and relationships with venture capital investment firms. So my second time around was quite fast. He's talking about raising money there. That his second time raising money from professional investors was very fast. I decided I wasn't going to shop mine around after having learned the hard way the first time. What he means is shop mine around is he's talking about he wasn't going to actively go out and sell the investment opportunity into the company he was raising millions of dollars for. And he said, having learned the hard way the first time around. So obviously he had a bad experience trying to sell his investment opportunity. Yet word got out, and I had 5 term sheets being put together in about 3 weeks. This is called utter BS, folks. He said, yet word got out. Word doesn't just get out that you're raising money for yourself, right? He told people, okay? He told lots of people. Essentially, he told people that he was raising money, but they couldn't get into it. People don't want to be sold. Okay, they don't want to be sold an investment opportunity. They want to buy it. They want to pursue it. Because if something is pursuing you, it's probably not worthwhile. That's human psychology. That is 100% human psychology. Try this at a bar, at a club or something. Approach a girl or approach a guy or whatever you're into. Go up to them and, start a conversation. Then tell them you have to go. Right when it's getting good. Right when you're connecting. Right when you're really associating on some sort of concept or music or film or whatever, say, oh, I have to go check on my friend. When you do that, that's called a takeaway. Whenever you do a takeaway in marketing, in sales, in investment, it really jazzes people off. It makes people want to pursue you. The way a lot of these investments are sold, which is really what it is, they let people know in a way that they might be raising money or something like that, and then they say they're not, and they have enough investors. Never mind, we don't need your money. It's a takeaway because nobody wants to invest in a company that's pursuing them. People want to invest in being pursued. And the sad thing about this whole Aussie media freaking scandal is that I believe most money is raised in Silicon Valley for these dumb butt tech companies that I see with valuations of hundreds of millions and billions of dollars. It's a Ponzi scheme, and nobody's doing due diligence. It took this company, Aussie Media, to literally impersonate a YouTube executive on a call to lie hundreds of times. It was a Ponzi scheme. They got rich, smart people in. And once smart people are investing in your company, they look bad if the company goes down. So again, a lot of these Silicon Valley companies, a lot of these investment companies, a lot of these tech companies, they make $0. Some of them are good, right? Amazon is an example of a tech company that was losing money for many years and became one of the biggest companies in the world. But most companies aren't like that.
The company's never made a profit.
That's right.
Now, why? How does that? Why?
Seems like a new math, doesn't it?
It does.
So if you really want to make money the real way, I suggest you actually get into marketing and sales or something, trade crypto or whatever the new hot things are. I teach marketing for a living. I've made my living off of doing marketing because I think it's exciting and I love dissecting these sorts of things, but I love putting up marketing on my own. And if you want to learn more about how I do marketing and I get paid on a performance basis and make over $500,000 a month, you can check out some of my other videos. If you really like this content, slap that like button, hit the subscribe, and give me a big hoorah in the comments. Thanks for watching.